On today's show, we're going to be talking with you about exactly what you need to do when it comes to buying your first home. This can be a daunting task if you don't know what's going on. However, with the right leadership and guidance and the knowledge which you're about to receive on this podcast, you will be 100% prepared to go out and be able to purchase your first home. This was going to be a good one, y'all. Hang on. Here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast, where you receive the most up-to-date, relevant real estate information you're going to find anywhere on the planet. You're going to get it right here from your friends at Elite Realty Group. I am Mike Elkins Broker, owner here at Elite Realty Group, and we are in the Morristown Tennessee, Lakeway area, East Tennessee region of these great United States of America. And I'm glad that you've took time out of your busy schedule to tune in to this podcast today. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to talk about a topic of questions that we get a lot here at Elite Realty Group, and that is buying your first home. Like it can really be something that there's no doubt a lot of people that are out there and that may be listening to this, maybe watching this on whatever podcast platform you're on. It's something that is a goal of yours. It's something that you want to do. You want to become a homeowner. Maybe you're renting now. Maybe you're living with a family member or a friend. But you're like, hey, in my future, I can see me wanting to be a homeowner. But just to be 100% honest with you, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's involved. I know there's a lot of stuff that is involved with purchasing a home, and those thoughts, they're 100% reasonable for you to be able to have those thoughts. My goal today for you here is to kind of go over some of those, maybe answer some questions that you have about things you've heard, but overall about what does the process look like when you want to buy your first home. We get calls all the time, and the call goes like this: I want to buy my first home, but I have no idea where to start. We're going to tackle all of that today. And there's literally 4 different areas that I'm going to talk to you about, that what you're going to say are the most important for you to be aware of. Now, for me to be able to cover every step today for you to purchase a home would be totally 100% impossible for me to do, because every deal is different. Every client is different. Every need is different. But if you kind of get these core concepts and you kind of know these things are going to be a part of the process of you purchasing a home, then you kind of at least be able to know where to start and what to do. So let's dive right in and look at these, okay? The first thing that I want to tell you about today, okay? And for a lot of people, this is probably going to be, I can't believe you said that one, but here it is. But I would advise people that are looking to jump into the home ownership category. You've never purchased a home before. You don't know what to do. There are people like myself, like the agents at Elite Realty Group, that this is what we do for a living. If you today were needing a specialist because you had broken your arm and you needed help because your arm needed looked at, you wouldn't go to somebody who works on feet to do that. Or better yet, you probably wouldn't try to fix your arm yourself. You're in pain. You got an issue. You need something fixed. You're probably going to go to somebody that is going to be able to fix your arm. If you needed legal advice today and you were sitting here and this was not about a real estate show, it was about legal, and you needed legal advice, there's a really good opportunity, even though everybody that you know is going to have an opinion on what you want to do. When you really got down serious to, hey, this is an important legal matter in my life, you're probably going to get the assistance of a lawyer. Buying a home needs to be looked at in that same way. Now, I'm not sitting here advocating for you to do anything. I'm just telling you what you need to be aware of, okay? And here's why we go to those professionals. We go to the arm doctor. We go to the lawyer, the attorney, because we know those people do this. This is the first time that somebody has been dealing with whatever it is we're dealing with. when you're buying a home, one of the first things that I would suggest that you do is get in contact with a realtor that fits what you want in a realtor. Okay. Now, not all realtors are created equal. Okay. We have different personalities. We have different areas of expertise. Some have niches of this, some have niches of that. But you need to, and you are able to, and this is the part that a lot of people do not know. You as a home buyer have the opportunity to interview as many real estate agents as you want to interview till you find that person who you feel, this person and me, we connect, we fit. I feel like they have my best interest at heart. I feel like they understand what it is that I'm trying to do. I feel like we would make a good partnership to be able to help me find my first home. Call a professional, call a realtor, have a sit down conversation and say, these are my goals. This is what I want to do. This is the things that I see in my future of becoming a homeowner. This is why I want to do it. This is why it needs to happen. And you literally just have a conversation with the realtor that you think that you is going to lead you and help you through this process. Have a conversation with them. Okay. I know, at least for here at Elite, we would be honored for somebody to call us and say, look, I'm wanting to buy my first home. I need some guidance. Let's have a conversation about that. That conversation is not going to cost you anything, at least here. And I don't think it's going to cost you anything from most realtors in this country. They're going to give you the information that they think you need to have to be able to purchase your first home. So sit down and have a conversation with a realtor. Find one that fits what you want to do, and that way it'll make this process so much easier. Now, let's answer the question you may be sitting there having. Can I do this by myself? You can do anything you want to. You can 100% buy a home all by yourself. Is that the right thing to do? Who am I to answer that question? That's something that you have to look at and you have to analyze and you have to evaluate for yourself. Do you want to do it by yourself? I'm talking today to people who are probably going to be buying their first home. They have questions on what to do, how to do, when to do, all those things. If that's you out there today, the first thing I would tell you to do is connect with a realtor. Have a conversation, interview, make sure that you feel like they're a fit for you, because everything else that I'm going to talk about today, if you're working with a professional, it's probably going to make those processes a whole lot easier, because that realtor is going to be able to guide you through the process, the steps, the inspections, the appraisals, the final inspections, all of those things to get you to where you ultimately want to go. And remember, our goal at the end of the day is you want to become a homeowner, okay? So have that conversation. That's the first step that I would tell you to do. Have a conversation with a realtor. By the way, if you have questions about buying your first home that maybe you have and I don't go over in this podcast, put them in the comment section and I'll be making sure to watch and hopefully be able to answer your questions. So number one is work with a realtor. Okay. Do you have to? No. But that's what I would suggest you do. Work with a realtor. The second thing that you want to do, if you're buying a house, and this is a big one, or you're going to buy a house, okay, we know that house is going to cost us some money, okay? So the second thing that you need to do is you need to connect with, and this again is an interview process for you, okay? Not all people who give loans, who give mortgages are created equal. There's banks, there's mortgage people, there's different companies that offer all of these programs, and they're able to get you loans for your first home. Not all are created equal. Just like with the realtor, go out and interview with different people who are able to get you a mortgage for your property. See what that process looks like with them. What do you need to provide? What programs do they have? This is a big one for me. What programs do they have available? For example, if your credit needs a little bit of work, to be able to get your credit score up enough to purchase a house, does this lender offer those services to you? Does this lender have fees to close this loan? Most all of them do. What are those fees? How much is it going to cost for me to get this money? Have those interviews. We was talking with a young couple just the other day here at the office, and they are buying their first home. They're in a contract now. We're in the inspection process phase of that. And when they had their conversation with their lender, they had no idea that the lender had fees to actually give them the money. Well, folks, most of them do. Okay, that's just a fact. Okay, don't shoot the messenger. Remember, I'm just telling you kind of some things that's involved. Most all lenders have fees, but what are those fees? Some of them are higher than the others. In the same breath, I could sit here and tell you don't always want to work with the cheapest person, but interview those people. Have multiple conversations with those people about what does the process look like, and then pick one. That way, you don't have to have 5, 6, 8, 10 people pull your credit. You're just going in for a conversation at first. Once you find the person that you feel like you're good with, that's when we can do a credit pull. That's when we can start working on credit. That's when all those things could happen. But you need to pick a mortgage person that you're going to have assist you get this money. Now, here's why this is big. You don't want to go looking for a home without knowing the budget that you have. Most people looking to buy their first home, if they make mistakes, it's they over budget, if you would have that word. They overspend on this home and it gets them in financial trouble. Okay. In your conversations with that lender, let's talk about some budget stuff. What are you comfortable with as a home buyer that your monthly payment needs to be where you're going to be able to have your cake and eat it too? In other words, you're going to be able to live in your house and still go to dinner with your family or your friends on the weekend if you want to. We have a term that we throw around here often, and it's called house poor. And that's literally somebody who because their mortgage payment is so high, they are house poor. They can't afford to do anything else. They can't take a vacation. They can't even eat out. They can't do these things because they are house poor. Their house payment takes up way too much of their income, and they're house poor. You don't want to be house poor. Having this conversation with this mortgage person up front allows you to set that budget and talk about where this payment comes in. Now, let me give you another tip in that area. You may have a conversation with your lender, depending on your debt to income. They look at all these things. You may have a conversation with your lender and they're like, you can buy a $450,000 house. And I'm using fake numbers today. But that $450,000 house is going to cost you $3,900 a month. And the lender says, hey, you can do this. According to your credit, your debt to income, you can do this. But you hear $3,900 a month. And you're like, there ain't no way under the sun I'm paying $3,900 a month for a house. Well, just because you can does not mean you have to. That's where you have that conversation with your lender and you say, okay, just because I can doesn't mean I'm going to. I want my payment to be X. And I'll just throw another random number. I want my payment to be $2,200 a month, not $3,900 a month. I want to know what $2,200 a month gets me. Give me the total price of the house, the range that I need to be looking at homes in this range to be able to get a $2,200 a month payment. So now that you've got your realtor selected and you've got your pre-approval out of the way, you've got your finances all lined up, you know, your budget, you kind of know what this thing's going to cost, how you're going to pay for it. You've already had all those important conversations and discussions lined up. Now we get to do the fun part. Now's the part where you actually get to enjoy going out and searching for that next home. You have the opportunity, the ability at this point, because you did do those other things up front, to kind of know exactly where you need to go. Now, this is a point that I like to tell everybody when this part gets here. You know, some people want to go searching first before they do, especially the financial part. You definitely do not want to do that. You want to put the financial part first. Again, so it kind of keeps you in line. It keeps you in your lane when you are doing what you need to do as far as looking goes. Because when you start looking, things speed up quickly. Especially if you know you can buy, you know, where you want, and a home hits the market, it speeds up very, very fast. So the part that I like to tell people to do before you ever put yourself in that arena, you're going to kind of know a little bit off the top of your head what you're wanting in your first home. You're going to know you've got a certain size you're looking for. You need certain bedrooms, bathrooms, whatever, garage, storage shed, whatever that is. You're going to kind of know some of those. But we advise everybody, whether that's your first home or whether it's a home you've bought 10 houses, you need to sit down and make you what we call a needs and a wants list. A needs list, very self-explanatory as the wants is. What do you 100% need in this home you're going to look for that you're going to ultimately end up buying? Because the process does speed up and everything just starts going super quick. If you don't have something to kind of keep you in your lane, you sometimes can venture outside of it. And some of those things that I'm saying like that, which are this way, are, for example, we see a lot of people say, as long as I'm within a radius of 15 minutes of my job, I don't really care the school district. I don't care the county. I don't, just as long as I'm in a 15-minute radius, I'm good with that. And then they start looking at homes. They start the process. They get everything rolling, going. And, maybe they don't find exactly that home in that 15 minutes, but one comes up 40 minutes away. And they're like, that's it. Like, that's the house. And because it's going so quickly, you kind of will look at it and say, well, it's okay. Like, we don't care to drive 40 minutes. And while the first couple drives, not that bad. You got to remember you're making a long-term commitment on this. As a matter of fact, most people that purchase a house, you're going to stay there for 5 to 7 years. So is that commute going to be okay with you for 5 to 7 years? We see that be one. Now, if you want a house 40 minutes away, buy a house 40 minutes away. Another one we see a lot of times is I've got a certain size home that I need. I need X amount of bedrooms. I need X amount of bathrooms. And that's what I need. You'll get in the field, you'll get looking, you'll get going. All those things will start happening again. And, you see one that might be a little bit nicer. That's a 2-2 or a 2-1 or a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. And you know what gets old fast? Waiting on that bathroom every single morning that everybody's trying to get ready and go to school, go to work at the same time, use the bathroom, and everything that goes into getting out the door on time on a Monday morning. And you say, you know what? We can make do with one. You probably can make do at one as long as everybody's not trying to do the same thing at the same time. But we all got to get out the door by 7:15 in the morning. Either going to have to start getting up early. The kids are going to have to get up early. My point is those needs need to kind of rule your search. So make you a needs list and a wants list. Share that with your realtor. Share that with them and say, hey, don't let me jump out of bounds here. Don't let me go over, those kind of things. And so you do not want to, it's going to speed up as it is. You don't want to speed it up no more. So step 3 is we got to go look. Okay. The final step, which I'm going to combine several things together here because this would take us all day. But the final thing is we've found our realtor. We've got our money. We found the house. Now we're going to make that offer. Okay. You're going to make that offer. If you use a licensed Tennessee realtor, or I'm sure a realtor in any state you're watching in, they're going to use the appropriate forms. Here at Elite, we use the state approved forms. It's going to have all the protections in there. It's going to be able to allow you to choose home inspections and termite inspections and surveys and radon tests and, whatever pretty much that you want to do. Inspection wise, you can do all that. It's going to be contingent if you're getting a loan upon an appraisal. Everything is going to be in there legally wise that you need for this to be a legal binding document that is enforceable should some party do something maybe that they're not supposed to do. So you're going to make that offer, you're going to write it up, and we're going to get it accepted. Like that's what we're going to do. You're going to get this house. Then more fun starts. That's when all the inspections go down. The appraisal happens. We may have to negotiate a little bit back and forth as far as what does the repairs look like. Did your home inspection show there were problems? And you have the ability to go and ask the people for repairs. And but that's where having that realtor in your corner is going to be able to help you get to the point that you want to get to, which is the final step of the closing table. All this is going to wrap up. Now, remember, I told you it's a lot more simple if you're working with a professional who can kind of keep you in line and keep you on task and keep you on time and all those kind of things. That was step number one. Find you a good realtor. Interview till you find one, okay? Do that. But at the closing table, man, this is where you feel like you're going to sign your life away. You're going to sign. But it's that day that's probably one of the best days of your life, especially when it's just your first house. Like this is the first one. Like you won't forget. I still remember my wife and I buying our first house. I was so nervous, but yet I was so excited at the same time because this is our first house. And signing that paperwork, although it's tedious and repetitive and everything else, when you get those keys in your hand and you go to that house for the first time and there's nobody else there and you're like, this is mine. It just does something for you. So I know there's a lot of people that are out there that you're wanting to get your first house. These are the major steps, players that you need to consider if that's you, if that's what you want to do, is get with a professional. If you're in the East Tennessee area, we're going to be able to sit down and meet with you one-on-one and do some good stuff, to be able to help you at Elite Realty Group. However, there's a lot of good real estate agencies in our area. Find one that works for you. Even if you're across the country, our connections go far and wide. Maybe you see this video and you're like, you know what? I don't have a clue who in, my town of Sandusky, Ohio, I should ask to be my realtor. Well, we may have some connections in Sandusky, Ohio that we could point you in the direction of 2 or 3 people and let you go do that interview. My point is enjoy the process, but you will simplify that process by working with someone who can literally be in your corner and help you through the entire process. It is not something that is the easiest thing to do, but with the right help, the right encouragement, and the right plan, knowing what to do and when to do it, it's a process that we're privileged to be able to serve people and help them do every single day. Again, we've helped hundreds, if not thousands of people buy their first home. If that's you, reach out to one of us at Elite Realty Group. Give us a call, send us a message, connect with us in some way. We would love to sit down with you and explain this journey of what home ownership looks like and how it could exactly look like to you. That does it for all the information I've got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this Elite Realty Group podcast, trying to bring you, again, good information. Connect with us on whatever platform you're watching, whether that be a podcast you're listening or you're seeing us on video. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us as we release content all the time, hopefully to help you. Until I see you guys next time, you be safe, you be blessed. I will see you on another of our upcoming episodes. Y'all take care.